What's up, everybody? It's Aaron Ray back again with another episode of Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. We had week 3 was topsy turvy. Let's just say that. What do you say? You agree? Just getting right into it. Week 3, very, very topsy turvy. Very.
Did you look at the scores from our main league? Did you see that barely anybody broke 100 points?
Yeah, and
that's wild.
It's ridiculous. It's the week of injuries. It happens every year in the NFL, and this week appeared to be that week. So
you guys can just look at my roster and know that half of them will get injured by week 4. So there's your injury report, guaranteed every season.
Monty going down in like the first or second series of that game killed me. But like the savant that I am, I picked up Khalil Herbert before the game even started. But of course, he put me 31 points on my bench. Doesn't do me much good.
It doesn't, but I'm not sure what the severity is. So what Aaron is talking about is David Montgomery got hurt. I think it was in the second quarter of that game. Might have been even the first. I can't remember what quarter it was. We should write that down. We should write that down. Let's put that in the notes.
I just told you it was in the first.
So David Montgomery went down in the first with an apparent knee to ankle injury. It's still to be determined how long that's going to be.
Be like just a shin, like from your knee to your ankle, just whole
somewhere, some part of that bone muscle structure that got hurt. Still to be determined how long that's going to be. But going into what we're going to be talking about right after the injuries here are the waivers that you need to be looking at. Big surprise, who's on there?
So Herbert number 1.
Amon-Ra St. Brown went down with an ankle injury. Definitely looked like he was hobbled after that, but he came back into the game, so that's a positive. Probably going to be week to week. Most likely he'll play, but definitely hurts the
upside.
Yeah, that definitely hurts the upside. It's like I'm reading off my own team.
So in the same game, DeAndre Swift, apparently it's his shoulder. They're probably going to set him for a couple weeks.
That's the word.
To just let that heal up so he can get back to 100%.
Yeah.
Smart move. But I mean, in the meantime, we're going to hit it in the waivers as well. But Jamal Williams, very viable in his absence.
Very much so. Garrett Wilson went down with an injury, with a rib injury. He came back into the game as well. But he didn't look the same. That offense looked putrid. And Zach Wilson comes back. So Garrett Wilson's time to shine might have been short-lived.
That window is closing fast.
Who knows? Maybe, you know what? Maybe Zach Wilson comes in.
I don't think Zach Wilson comes back from a sprained knee and just all of a sudden just slinging the rock everywhere. Joe Flacco is an upgrade in the passing game for the Jets, and that's gross, and it's not even a spicy take.
That's disgusting.
So Tua, as everyone saw at the end of the second quarter there, looked like he banged his head off of the turf and had really weird motor skills when he stood up, like
he
stumbling over his own feet. Apparently in the locker room said that it was his back, but now we don't know if it's a head or back. Miami's already in some heat for some tampering stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me. But, I mean, he came back and looked okay.
He shouldn't have came back in that game.
He shouldn't have been allowed to come back in the game.
No. And if it anything other than a quarterback, he would have been sat immediately for that.
Yeah, probably. But that is what that is. Also, Dalvin Cook, shoulder. He dislocated his shoulder again. He does it every year. They're going to put him back in that little harness device, and he's going to be ready to roll. He's half cyborg now, right?
He's honestly, every time he dislocates his shoulder, he comes out and blows up the next week. So, start of the week, Dalvin Cook.
I mean, it could be a good call.
I need it.
Ray tried to offer me Dalvin Cook before this weekend.
I did, and you said no.
It wouldn't have helped me anyways. So
you said no. Outside of that, the only other injury that is of note that I think we took notes on this weekend, Debo went down. Debo got back up. He does it every week. I think it's part of his game plan. Throw him off a little bit.
Debo did Debo things.
Yeah, Debo doing Debo things. That game. Jesus.
Please stop. We went from
Jesus
Packers Bucks straight into Broncos Niners, and they were both just like
snooze fest. So before we get started on that, Aaron, I'd really like to hit the waivers because I think that's what the people are here to see. That's what they want to know. Who are they going to pick up? Who do you got first?
First and foremost, Khalil Herbert. Like I said, dude, in taking over the full workload, had 180 something rushing yards, 2 tutters,
good.
And some more yards through the air.
I wrote that in all caps. He looked good on the doc. He looked good.
Yeah, he looked really good. Which as a Montgomery owner myself, one really weird hair right there. Montgomery mode owner myself, I'm scared for when Montgomery comes back.
I think it's going to be a 50-50 because, I mean, not to rain on your parade, but
I'm not.
Herbert looked good.
I mean, I get it, right? You got to do forget fantasy at that point in time. You got to do what's best for the team at that point in time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's one of the only last few places where they have just a bell cow running back. And unfortunately, he got hurt. So, because if Montgomery stays in the game and has a game like that, he just solidified that number one role and just pushed Herbert even further down the depth chart. But anyways, that would be probably my number one pickup because he's Montgomery's day to day.
All right, what kind of fab you spending on him?
I have 17 to 20%. If you're in need of a running back,
okay.
I also would look at Jamal Williams as well.
Bring him up.
Yep, if you're in need of a running back, because you do know Swift is going to be out for at least a couple weeks.
They literally said 2 weeks. So what you're doing right now, if you're in desperation mode for running back, it's already going to be week 4 coming up. Understand that you're going to have to buy some wins. I think that at that point, Jamal Williams needs to be 22 to 25% of your fab.
I would agree with that.
That offense can move the ball. He's looked serviceable to pretty good, and he can catch the ball too. Don't forget, Jamal Williams got hands. So, and if Amon-Ra is really going to be hobbled, they're going to need him a lot more than what I think is going to be on paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what stinks? I don't know who I want to drop for or not for Jamal to try to go get him.
While he's talking about that, another name I want to bring up is Zay Jones. Zay Jones looks heavily involved, and I think that right now could be a pretty viable option going forward. If Trevor Lawrence is going to be looking as good as he has, and if Doug Peterson really unlocked that offense, which it honestly looks pretty good, I think Zay Jones is a viable, at least flex-worthy receiver. If you're in a pinch, if you're in some injuries, if your team looks like mine, Zay Jones could be something to look at.
I would agree. I wasn't rolling my eyes at you during the conversation about Zay Jones. I was rolling my eyes because I went to add Jamal Williams or put a fab build in on Jamal Williams. Ruben has him in one league and Eric has him in the other.
Yep.
It's like they're scheming behind the scenes.
It's tough. Another name I'd like to couple in with Zay Jones, Trevor Lawrence. He's looked good.
Yep. If you're the Russell Wilson owner, I might be looking to maybe pivot. He's not going to blow you out of the water, but he's for sure going to get you more than 8 to 10 points that Russell Wilson was giving you.
He gave me 5 last night. Gave me 5, 6, maybe. I don't know.
At least with Trevor Lawrence, you're getting 15 to 18.
I mean, it's
average quarterback play.
Been 20. 18 to 20. He's looked good. Doug Peterson seems like he has a good hold on that offense.
Yep.
Who else you got here, Aaron? I think you have the next couple.
Tyler Conklin. He's been targeted 7, 8, and 8 or 7, 7, 8, something like that.
He's on the field 100% of the time.
Yeah, he's getting. But once again, he plays for the Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. He plays for the Jets, right?
Tight ends suck, and if he's getting 8 to 10 targets,
that's what Joe Flacco. That's what Joe Flacco though. So maybe pick him up if you're streaming tight ends. Give it a go. See what happens. Temper expectations if Zach Wilson's on the field.
This might not be the best week to do it when Zach Wilson comes back the first week. See how it might go, but I think he's worth rostering because if anything, Zach Wilson's going to have to check the ball down and stay near the line of scrimmage. Who's there? Tyler Conklin. If he can get 8 to 10 targets like he's been doing, you can do much worse at tight end. Trust me, much worse.
Oh, I agree completely. I wanted to bring up Jerick McKinnon. CEH had a good game fantasy wise because he got into the end zone again somehow, but he's not on the field as much as he was, and Jerick McKinnon is, I think, slowly usurping him for that role.
I think it's becoming more of a timeshare, but yeah, I would agree he's definitely getting into that category of, hey, it might be a 60-40 right now with Isaiah Pacheco still getting a little bit of work as well. Not as a lot, not anything to write home about, but I think Jerick McKinnon, especially if CEH goes down, if you got that handcuff, I think that's going to be some weak wins because he catches the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in handcuff running backs right now. I'm interested in trying to find starters, just like I think everybody else is. We'll get interested in handcuffs when it comes to about week 13, and you're pretty close to clinching the playoff berth, or already have. So
somebody was already looking at handcuffs in week 10. You're SOL.
That's fair, but is that team going to make it to the playoffs with a bunch of nothing but players that you're waiting on injury?
Who knows? I would like to bring up a name that I've brought up now in a couple shows. Mac Hollins. He's been involved. He's looking
very much so.
He's outproducing Devontae right now. That's awkward. But I will say
it's almost like the Packers offered him the same amount of money, but he still left.
He wanted to play for a team that he's been a fan of. I don't think that. Honestly, I don't think he cares at all that he's not making plays on a weekly basis. I think he cares about the fact that he's a Raider because he wanted to be a Raider and he's getting fat paid to do it.
You don't think that he's going to care about the fact that on the outside looking into the Hall of Fame if he continues to play with Derek Carr?
I think that as soon as that trade got made, he had to have understood that Hall of Fame ride was over. I think that had to be understood.
Maybe, who knows?
But he writes the ship. But anyways, Mac Hollins in a deeper league, great pickup. I think that there's probably not a lot of options left in your
16 giant 16 teamer.
Mm-hmm. I bet he's perfect for that league. Perfect.
I don't think Hunter Renfrow gets his job back.
I'm not going to let you take the next one because I have been the conductor of this hype train forever. I think that he's arrived. Romeo Doubs. This is it. Romeo Doubs with Lazard banged up, with Sammy Watkins out for 4 weeks, with Randall Cobb looking like he's 700 years old. Romeo Doubs is necessary, and Christian Watson apparently
the best ability is availability,
and he's available, and he looked good.
He got a tutter, a schemed tutter.
Yeah, and he had to fight for it too. He had two people draped over top of him. I'm just saying the Bucs defense is good, and he made the Bucs defense not look so good for 2 drives until the Packers decided to stop playing offense.
So, I mean, that is fair. I agree with you. What we saw yesterday, looks like he's got the hands right. He's starting to get a little bit more in rhythm with Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, we were spoiled with Devontae Adams for the last 4 years and kind of having that mind meld. But I do agree that once he starts, he's looking like he's not a rookie anymore.
He needs to be rostered.
Not looking like he's like a top dude in the NFL, but you can tell okay, I'm starting to get an understanding of how things work, the game speed. And I'm going on a tangent here, but I don't think Christian Watson has it yet. He's missed most of training camp. He's now injured again. The few games he's played in, he's looked bad. The only time he's really gotten the ball are on design end arounds to him where he doesn't really get anywhere. So I do think our 4th round pick will be better than our 2nd round pick. So I would roster him as well.
This season, yeah. I think that this was always going to be a Christian Watson kind of learning curve situation.
I think he's going to be like a Trey Lance. He came out of the same school. He's going to come out of a little school where they're going to be like, oh, yeah, he was so good, but the competition level now is going to be way higher than it was. And I don't think he sees a lot of the field, especially after this year, especially if he's not available and Romeo Doubs continues to do what he does.
I think we got to pump the brakes here. Pump the brakes. I'm still not off the Christian Watson train, but Romeo Doubs needs to be rostered 100%. He needs to be a roster stash right now. And if that chemistry continues to build, if you're starting to see that he is taking over the number 1 role, because I think that physically he probably is the best receiver they have right now that isn't hurt, that isn't named Christian Watson with his physical abilities, but just in general as a receiver, he's probably the best receiver they have. So I'd say absolutely necessary to at least roster him.
I mean, I think of him like an Alan Lazard. Everyone's like, oh, you got to roster Alan Lazard, but Alan Lazard's banged up too. And Rodgers will throw to more than one person, so roster him. Not necessarily the same team roster than both, but they need to be rostered in leagues. Both of them need to be rostered in leagues. Anyways, I'm going to take the last guy too because you typed him up in the show doc.
Go ahead.
No, it's
Go
yours.
ahead.
It's your pick.
You don't? Oh, okay.
I drafted this guy. I was high on him to begin with, but I ended up dropping him. But now it looks like it was a mistake.
I think Isaiah McKenzie again in deeper leagues, or really in a 12-man, he should be rostered. Especially if any of the two receivers, Diggs and Gage, miss time, he should be put in the lineup because he has seemed viable, and Josh Allen loves him, loves throwing him the ball. He clearly took over the Cole Beasley role.
Yeah, and I was just about to say he pushed Jamison Crowder out of the way too. Finally, I don't know what's up with that, but anyways, that's pretty much it for him. I would say deeper leagues there as well, so like the 12, 14, 16
league,
teamers. So Ray, let's go ahead and hit a quick break, and then we will come back with some what we'll call weekly roundup. Sound good?
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah.
Right.
Hey everyone, this show is brought to you by Driffles Jerky. Are you like us and love beef jerky, but hate paying those high prices for subpar meat? Well, at drifflesjerky.com, they have the money meat.
You said the money meat?
That's right, the money meat. Great tasting beef jerky made from top quality cuts of beef at great prices. Use promo code franchise tag to get yourself 10% off on your order today.
That's DRIFFILLS jerky.com. All right, everybody, we are back. Like I said, we are going to be talking just a little bit about some of the weekly roundup, kind of what we took notes on of certain games. So if we leave anything out or anything that you think or should be talked about or mentioned, leave us a comment, drop us a comment in the comment section, join the Discord, throw it in the Discord. Sorry, I got tripped up over my words. Throw it in the Discord, let us know, and we will try to cover that stuff next episode. Or this another thing you can do. Another thing you can do is just join the Discord. It's right here at the bottom. And during Sundays, I will create a channel that strictly talk about this on the show.
Yeah, and I have notifications on, so you want answers? We got you answers.
We will give you answers.
Or just want to just shoot the shit. I'm all about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, where would you like to start, Ray? There's so much stuff.
I know there's. We wrote a lot of stuff in here, but and like I said, this is going to be more organized next week. I want to start off by just saying the Raiders' pass defense is so suspect. It's so suspect. Their team in general is suspect, but their pass defense, and I'm saying that because if you've got receiving options going up against the Raiders, I think that they're all viable starts going forward. They look awful.
Agreed. And their run game is abysmal and trash as well.
Mm-hmm. And Derek Carr might be a streaming option because he's going to be in just garbage time after garbage time, but he doesn't look that good either. He doesn't.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. We're gonna be spitfiring on this one. We'll have a better layout next week, guys. Sorry, but Irv Smith looked like the number 2 in Minnesota there for a long time, and then for some reason, Adam Thielen got involved, and Justin Jefferson just wasn't a thing.
Well, Adam Thielen definitely was heavily involved again.
Yeah,
it wasn't Jefferson. Derrick Henry now looks to be catching a lot more passes than I ever thought he was going to be, and if that's the case, that's a good sign going all the way forward. If he's catching 5 passes, couldn't be a better sign.
Agreed. So Joe Burrow holding on to the ball way too long, taking too many unnecessary sacks. I do think that Zach Taylor should probably think about changing just a little bit of the offense, and maybe getting balls out a little bit quicker.
Not so much deep reads.
Exactly. Get on some timing. And probably also, Zach Taylor, if you're watching this, establish the run with Joe Mixon. You're an idiot if you don't, because then you're trying to run play action passes and your run hasn't been established, so no one's buying it. So therefore, then again, your line sucks and Joe Burrow's holding onto the ball too long to try to make plays. Run the football, quicker reads.
I think I like this note in here. Wentz is gonna wince. I like that. I like that.
I'm pretty sure that was Ruben, wasn't it?
Yeah, Philadelphia's defense is really good, and I like them against a lot of matchups that they have. When they play Dallas, when they play the Commanders again, when they play the Giants, I like that defense. So going forward, probably going to be a smash start on defense for me until proven otherwise.
Agreed. Damian Pierce, Houston Texans. He looked really good. Is the Chicago? That's one of the things.
Is it Chicago?
Chicago's D that bad, or is he finally taking that step forward? I'm honestly probably going to start him next week on my team.
I have a note from tonight's game too right now.
Okay, what?
It just got added. We'll add that at the very end. I just got a side note. No, I agree. I think honestly, after watching the Vikings play the Lions, the Vikings defense is very beatable. They came out week one, looked hot. Aside of that,
just the Packers thing.
And they might just be a Packers thing. Who knows? The Packers love losing first games of the season, getting blown out and things like that. But they look beatable. And to couple that, the Lions look like they are a legit team. It's just, how do they keep giving these games away? They had that game won. They had it. I saw KJ Osborne catch that ball when I was in the line to get some wine, and I almost spiked my phone. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I don't
know.
I'm a Packers fan, so obviously I want them both to tie, but I at least want to see competition.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's because they kicked the field goal and missed it, but I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
That's tough.
I really like to skip forward to this game. I've got a few notes for this. Jameis Winston is looking like the 30 for 30 Jameis, where he is not going to get it done. He's not what everyone thought what he thought he would be. Now you can say, okay, Michael Thomas with his toe, Jarvis Landry with his foot, just kind of really left Chris Olave and Marquez Callaway. That's his name, right? Yeah, caught the one-handed tutter. Looked good catch. But Jameis just looks bad. It's awful. And not to mention, Alvin Kamara is Kamara, is like dead. We talked about it, but he does not. If it's his ribs, like Herbert's same injury, and he can't get it done, I don't like. What do you do?
You can't not start him.
I'm probably not starting him next week.
You can't sell low that low.
And no, but he's going to stay on my bench. But it's going to be the week where I don't start him and he scores 4 touchdowns. What happened to Alvin Kamara? That at any given time, dude could turn it on and be gone for 55-yard touchdown.
Would you go? We haven't got into next week's, but I just want to ask real fast, just real quick. Kamara or Dameon Pierce?
Dameon Pierce.
Oh my God. Kamara
this is where I am on this point in time. I'm starting Khalil Herbert, and I'm starting because I had Montgomery, right? So he's going to take that spot. But I'm starting Dameon Pierce too, just to see. Like, Kamara hasn't broken double digits the first 3 weeks of the season. He's been out, and then played in 6 points.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what tilt looks like if you were trying to find out a mental image. This is tilt.
I just got a side note that we got to bring up too for the game tonight. But no, it's not tilt. It's not tilt because I'm keeping him on my roster. But it's just one of those things. Like, I'm in the situation where I have him on my roster. I got to try because I'm after tonight's game. I'm going to be 1-2, and I need to at least be 500 going, 3-3 before everyone starts making the playoff pushes, and we really start seeing what players are what teams are who's going to do what, who actually has bad run defenses.
How about this? Jamal Williams, or with knowing that he's going to be.
Oh, I'm taking Jamal Williams over Alvin Kamara.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying for next week, we haven't even got into that. I just wanted a couple quick ones just to see where you're at, and we'll revisit again on Thursday's show.
Listen, I'm talking all this crap, but I'm probably still going to start Kamara.
I bet you do.
I bet you I do too.
I bet you don't bench him.
I want to do it out of spite, but it's the six touchdown
no.
games that he can throw up that I'm just scared about.
Don't remind me about 6 touchdown games. I want to bring back again, talking about the Lions one more time. This is another note, and I know that we're all over the place, and I apologize. We will get this fixed. But Ruben brought up a good point, and I think it's pretty valid. The Lions offense is so much better when they run it through Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, when they're available, obviously. But when they're not available, their offense doesn't look anywhere near as potent. And I think what that says, DeAndre Swift is absolutely a top 5 back. I can't deny it anymore. He is
absolutely a dude.
A top 5 talent. And I think Amon-Ra might be a top 5 talent. He might be. And I understand.
I would say top 10.
Let's go top 10. But I think I'm just saying might be just because of how much he changes that offense. And he's doing it with Jared Goff. Just a thought. Keep that in the back of your minds. You're probably not going to be able to get him off of whoever has him on the roster.
I know I'm not getting him off of you, but can you imagine when Jameson Williams comes back and if he just happens to come back and only take a couple games to get acclimated to the NFL?
He'll be the Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds will be relegated to nothing anymore.
That's what I'm saying, but that offense will be good if you have two really good wide receivers that you can go to, which leads me into my next point. Running back 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, has definitely taken the step forward. And all pass catching options in Philadelphia should be rostered and started week in, week out.
I think that what you saw week 1 with Devonta Smith, now that we have a little more data to go off of, I think that's going to happen. That's because obviously there's only one football, and certain times game scripts are just not going to let you get both guys involved. But because
they're kind of like, go ahead.
He had 6 points week 1. That's why
he had 0 points week 1.
I thought he had 6.
No, he had like 2 targets, 0 receptions, 0 points.
Well, either way, even
I started him and haven't started him since, and I need to, but it's in that it's in our mess around league, so I got a lot of other players. But I
think they both have to be started at this point.
The Eagles remind me of the Bills. Not necessarily, maybe they're not as good, but they have a good defense.
Their defense is better.
They're gonna play some weak teams throughout their divisions. They're going to have a mobile quarterback who can make plays happen. And even when they are whooping your ass at 24-7, they are still throwing that football.
They don't care. And look, I wasn't a big believer in Devonta Smith. I think I'm starting to come around.
This is a Heisman Trophy winner.
I understand that, but he's a small dude, and I just didn't know he was going to translate kind of like what Hollywood Brown is. Even though he had a good week this week, I don't necessarily think that Hollywood Brown is a very viable number 1 receiver. I don't think Devonta Smith is a number 1 in the NFL, but I think he's a great number 2. Great number 2, especially with a guy like A.J. Brown. That was one of the best trades they could have made.
Right.
I can't believe I'm saying that. This is all like, you just see me eating crow. Just eating crow.
Score Daryl. You want to talk about Score Daryl?
Look, I'm going to get back on this GD tangent one more time. How many times does Cordero Patterson have to look like that before Atlanta figures it out? That is their running back. Get Tyler Algier off of the game plan. Get him out of there. Give the ball to the best person on your offense and stop playing these stupid games. For the love of God, stop it. Cordero Patterson, ladies and gentlemen, he could be a league winner if Atlanta would just pull their heads right out of their asses.
I agree.
He's
Austin
so good.
Eckler. Austin Eckler, not looking good. Buy low on all your other Chargers, but really start to be worried about Austin Eckler at this point in time.
He's not running the ball.
He had 4 carries, 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half, had 5 yards.
I think that could...
They threw the ball 48 times, too.
That could have to do with they were just getting boat raced. Maybe that's what it is.
But who would have thought that Jacksonville would boat race the Chargers?
You would think that would mean Austin Eckler had a more prominent role because they're throwing more. It wasn't the case. I don't know what to think right now. I'm of a mindset with Eckler and with Kamara. I'm not selling as low as what you're probably going to have to sell them for right now.
Yeah, no.
You need
If that's
some
the case,
game.
I'm holding.
Yeah, you need to hold. But
Yeah.
you need some game to kind of bring back a little more value. And if you really want to jump ship, that's when you do it. But you don't do it right now because you're selling at the very lowest.
And you don't.
part.
You don't need a like 15-point average game to jump ship and sell. You need the 35, 40-point week winner. Like, oh, they're back, and then if you're trying to sell
I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get one. I don't know.
I don't think that's the problem. I don't think you are. But at this point in time, think about in our draft per se with the keepers. Like Dalvin Cook has had one above 10-point game. Joe Mixon has had one above 10-point game. Did he?
Dalvin Cook had 2.
Oh, excuse me, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mixon isn't looking like it. The only person that I can think of that got actually drafted as far as running back position goes in the first round is Chubb. And did Barkley go in the first?
In most drafts, no.
No, I'm talking about in our draft specifically. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like all these running backs that everyone thought was going to be great are just not. Running back in general this year is just down.
It is. I want to bring up talking about running backs here. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers right now. You want to talk about panic buttons?
DJ Moore sucks.
DJ Moore.
CMC sucks. Robbie
DJ Moore
Anderson
sucks. On your roster.
Don't cut him, but sit him.
He needs to be benched. I wouldn't even be mad if you cut him at this point. I wouldn't be mad.
I agree. Let's play. We've still got so much more to cover. We're not going to hit it all. We're running a little low on time, so let's play the panic button game, Ray.
Before. I got 2 more things. 2 more.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson is the MVP right now. 100%.
100%. Yes.
And Andrews is feasting off of that. If you could try and get that stack, do it.
It won me money in DFS, by the way.
Arizona's offense looks god awful. They will look awful until D-Hop is back. Yeah. Even when he comes back, that's still suspect. James Conner probably needs to be a sit for a hot minute. And I know he got hurt as well. Yeah, I'm seeing what you're highlighting here, Aaron. Oh, I know. That's the last part I'd like to get to. Drake London is a thing. Don't be afraid to roster him. Don't be afraid to start him. And if you don't want to say it,
I will.
I would like to take back. I would like to take back that Lazard is a weekly flex. Honestly, I don't think he.
No, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. So, anyways, Russ is a cut. Go ahead, cut Russ. Pick up a new quarterback. The Broncos offense. I think this is per Ray's words. The Broncos offense is a freaking joke with no fix in sight. And my exact words were, the Broncos are dead, and Hackett should probably be looking to get replaced if I'm the front office in Denver.
I don't know if I do that early season. I don't know if I do that early season. That's tough.
It's one of those things. Would you rather do it early season and try to right the ship now when you still have a chance? Or would you rather wait until you're too far behind the 8 ball to get anything going?
I think it's too early to I think if they fired him today, I would be stunned. I think it's a little too early.
Well, I'm just saying, you paid
real NFL. NFL.
I get it. But you paid $250 million to your quarterback. $250 million with a billion.
Russ is
he looks awful. But then again, you paid your coach what, $20-something million for the next 4 years or something like that.
The thing about Denver right now that's really just puzzling me, it just makes no sense. Why is every play that they draw up, every damn play that Russ throws, why is it a check down? Everything he's doing, it's at the line of scrimmage. It gets nowhere. They get into negative game script. They don't have the offensive line to push the ball down the field. No one's getting open for Russ, I guess, down the field apparently, and then they have to punt. And that is rinse, repeat.
I saw for the first time why Russ always throws that back shoulder to Sutton. Because when he finally caught that back shoulder 25-yard fade, he had no separation on the defender.
That could be it. I don't know. I wish that I had the over the center cam that I could see
all the time, right?
Yeah,
It'd be nice.
Go
ahead and think about that, guys.
I want to see the problem because Russ is not a bad quarterback. He's never been a bad quarterback. He's been a great quarterback. Borderline. If he kept playing the way he was playing, probably did get in the Hall of Fame. Had he kept playing the way that he was playing in Seattle. Am I wrong? Probably not.
Potentially.
Potentially. He's got still that potential. I think that's still a little long shot, but still potential. What I'm saying is that he isn't a bad quarterback. And what we've seen the last 3 weeks is a bad quarterback. And I don't know what it is. He's not taking any shots downfield. He's not pushing the ball down the field. I don't necessarily think that he's getting the receiver help that maybe everybody thought he was going to get. And the running game just really hasn't taken off. And I think that might have something to do with the fact that they keep strolling out Melvin Gordon when Javonte Williams is clearly the better back. But I would like to say, if you're the Javonte Williams owner right now, I would be scared shitless because you're talking about he now lost third down roll. He splits on first and second downs, and it's a coin toss, and sometimes he loses the coin toss for the goal line work. So you're seeing how much volume is taken away from Javonte. Literally, probably their best option. It's crazy to see. Last night was befuddling. I got hit with the habooga last night looking at that. The habooga. Couldn't believe it.
All right. I think we've beaten the drum on Russ for about 3 weeks in a row now.
Let's not ride anymore.
We're not riding anymore. So, Ray, we're going to play the panic button game. I'm going to give you a name, and you're going to give me a number 1 through 10. 10 being you are extremely panicked. 1, you are not panicked at all. Okay?
Let's do it.
Kyler Murray.
Probably about a 6. Because I know D-Hop comes back. He looks a lot better.
Okay. Matt Stafford.
Oof. Maybe a 7.5.
Okay. Christian McCaffrey.
Maybe a 7.5.
Okay. Austin Eckler.
A 9 right now.
9 right now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Joe Mixon.
I think the offense is kind of figuring itself out now. I'm at a 5 with Joe Mixon.
Okay. Aaron Jones.
I'm not panicked at all. 0. I just think that it's going to be a back and forth between him, AJ Dillon. I think that offense is going to always be something to be concerned about. He's going to have his games. He's going to have his missed games. So,
okay. Derrick Henry.
After seeing him catch 5 passes, I was sitting about a 7 with Derrick Henry. Now I'm sitting at about a 5, and I need to see it one more week.
Okay. Justin Jefferson.
0. It was an off week.
I don't think so. Okay.
Nah, I mean that's an off week.
Cooper Kupp.
Might be like a 2. Week. Yeah, just an off week. Probably 2, maybe 1 because of Stafford. Stafford looks hurt. He looks hurt.
His elbow.
Yeah, he looks hurt. So,
Devontae Adams.
Man, that's a tough one, and I think I'm rising more and more. I don't know if that ship gets right. I'm at about 6 and 6.5.
CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know right now because the game's playing right now. I know that he caught the first pass that I got to see. That's about it. Prior to Monday night, probably like a 7.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give the high profile names that people.
Yeah, probably like a 7, but it's only because the offense itself does not look like it's in a position right now to score.
All right, asking for a friend, Michael Pittman.
8. 8.
I mean, he's doing his stuff. But
Matt Ryan looks god awful. I don't care they won. I don't care. I don't give a shit. He looks god awful.
Yeah, I mean, he still thankfully gave you 11 or a half point scoring format. So Arlie gave me 11.5 points. It's good. Mike Williams.
I'm always concerned.
Okay.
Like a 9. I'm so scared to start him.
Okay.
We've talked about a few. When he hits, it's a 0. It's like whenever
right?
he hits.
It's that you talk about roller coaster. That.
Yeah.
Obviously DJ Moore. I'm a 9.5.
I'm 10. I'm already saying right now. And I know Aaron's saying not to cut him. I'm saying to cut him.
I would hold on bench just a little bit.
Let him set a mind on somebody else's roster.
That is
not.
fair.
He is not
fair.
getting the work he thought he was going to get.
That's fair.
Baker doesn't look that good. I don't know.
Baker sucks as a
I'm at a 10. I'm at a 10.
Terry McLaurin.
I got 4, but rising.
I think I'm more of like a 6.5.
I can see the path to get there. Yes.
I mean, out of the rest of them, there's really not very many more like wide receivers that you're really going to be too. You're gonna know what you got with the rest of them. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. After the names that we kind of given out.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
I mean, he just had a good week. Kind of quells the masses.
Settles your belly a little bit.
A little bit, probably 4.
TJ Hawkinson.
Tight ends suck. 3.
This is what's going to happen when I say all of this. George Kittle.
That one's a little more concerning, but maybe it's because he's coming back from an injury. Probably like a 2.
Like a 2?
Yeah.
Like a 2? Dawson Knox?
I cut him.
Okay. You shouldn't be holding on to Cole Kmet anymore, but Cole Kmet?
No.
Done, right?
11.
All right.
Cut him.
And that's pretty much it. The kickers and defenses don't matter. So
nope. Kickers never mattered. Not one time ever in the history of time. They never mattered.
Thanks for playing the game with me, Ray.
Absolutely.
Glad I got your temperature check on all these people. But anyways, you got anything else for these fine people?
It feels good to be 2-1. Feels good.
Stop it. Little knife turn. Don't worry, man. Something will happen like 6 touchdowns to just boot you.
I was expecting to lose to Jordan because of a kicker, so I don't know. Bless you. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, well, I do have a few game notes. Pollard looks way better than Zeke right now since we haven't been able to watch it. That is one of the notes that I got. What was your note?
I got from great friend of the show, Ruben. Zeke is bad with the backwards D, and then time to move on.
Okay. Well, Royce, congratulations that you drafted CeeDee Lamb and Zeke. Hope it's working out for you, buddy.
And Dak.
And yeah, that's you're on fire. So as always, guys, please, we like to take little shots here and there, but please hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, like the videos as it does help us out. Follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. We are live we're not live, but we have videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with the live streams of DFS on Sundays. But as always, Ray, till next time, we will see you later.